What is going on, guys? It's RealTutsGML here, back with another Java game development video for you guys. And today is number 10 in the series. And today we're going to be looking at a couple of things. First off, I want to spice up the menu just a little bit here in our game. So as you can see, when we run the game here, it says menu. And it's just kind of like this black screen in the black background with help, play, quit. Pretty basic menu. What I was thinking of doing was creating a sort of cool particle sort of effect in the background here with like all different colors and that type of stuff. Also changing this menu to maybe like the game's name, like Wave or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're going to do to spice up the menu a little bit is we're going to want to create a new, I'm not going to say enemy, it's more of a particle. But we're basically just going to be taking this fast enemy here, and we're just going to duplicate it. So I'm just going to copy everything from this class, and I'm going to create a new class, and I'm going to name it menu particle. And I'm just going to take all of this and paste it, and then using Eclipse, I'm just going to rename the type to menu particle. So pretty simple. Now in here, what I want to do is I want to have it be like a different color particle. Now I know it's kind of hard to envision what I exactly want, so it's going to be hard to follow along. So go ahead and like watch what I'm going to do here, and then you can go back to it and see exactly what I'm talking about. So here I want to just create a private int red, and I want to equal this to a random integer, so we gotta import our random here, and r.nextInt 255, and I also want to do that for green, 255, and blue. And I actually just want to take this, and don't put that in the constructor, just put that there. There we are. So this right here is just basically going to give us a random value from 0 to 255 or 254. And so now what we can do is just create a color. And we're going to say color equals new color, red, green, blue. I guess we don't really need these red, green, blues here. If we wanted to, we could just take this. I guess that'd be actually a more efficient way of doing it. And just do that. So we're just creating a new color here with a random variable. So now instead of color.cyan, we're just going to put in color here, or col. And this is going to make it a random color, but now if we do this, it's going to stay the exact same color, which I'll show you here in a second. So let's go ahead and just in our game class here, at the very, very beginning, we're just going to say else. And I'm just going to create a quick for loop, int I equals 0. I is less than, we'll say 10, I plus plus. And here I'm just going to copy this, paste it down, and new menu particle. And here I'm just going to say r.nextInt with r.nextInt height, and we got to put in our ID menu particle, which we haven't created yet, but we will right here, menu particle. So if we run it, and there we go. So now we have a cool little different colored particles that just, create on their own. And we can also, now in our menu particle, say, if we create another integer up here, int dir equals 0, and we can say dir equals r.next int 2. So now if dir equals 0, do this, else if dir equals 1, do this. So we can make it go from up and down or side to side. So we put that to 2 and that to 9. And we run it. And now we have some particles going to the left and some going to the right, which is kind of it's a little fast for me. Let's say maybe 5. This will be 2, this will be 5. That's also kind of slow. Okay, I think what we're going to do is use the same algorithm here and just put it into our velocity x. So we can get rid of this direction. As you can see, this tutorial isn't very organized. So velocity x equals that, and velocity y equals that. So now it's just going to give a very random speed for all of it, which I actually kind of like that more. Around and hit play, and obviously they still stay in there when you hit play, which we need to delete them. Once you hit in our menu here, once you hit play, we need to say handler clear enemies. And I think we should put the player class right above. So we hit play, and there we go. So now we're good. Alright. So I don't know, it's just something to spice up the menu a little bit. Now we've got a cool little particle system going here. Now that particle is at 0. So we can say in the menu particle, if velocity x equals 0, velocity x equals 1, if velocity y equals 0, velocity y equals 1. Just if it does hit 0 at any point, we can go ahead and do that. And we can also make it a little bit bigger so they can go a little bit faster. We'll do 7 instead. Which is pretty cool. We can also, I'm just looking at this particle system here. I'm thinking it's a little bit hard now to see the buttons, even though we do have the buttons behind or in front of the particles. So if we just set an alpha on the actual particles there, I'm just trying to think here. Maybe if we just decrease the trail speed. So if we do that instead, so we just don't have as large of a trail. And then in the game class, we can just add, maybe 20. So just double it. Which I don't know, looks pretty cool, I guess. It's kind of freaky. What do we hit play, and then we can go into it. So there we go. Just a quick little particle, cool menu system that we've created that we can go and play around with. And you can play around with it a lot. And in our menu here, we can go and change to where it says menu to, we'll just say wave. So now it says wave. So now we've got all the fun stuff going here. So let me go ahead and start it, and here we are in game. So let's go ahead and add one more thing to our game. And I'll try and make this as quick as I can, but we'll see how that goes. What we're going to do is we are going to create a game end screen. Just a very basic one. We're not going to be doing much right now, but So basically, when your health gets to 0, it will switch us to a new screen. So to do this, we got to go to the game class here, and we need to add a new state, which is end, I'll just say. Alright, and now in our tick method, we can say if our state equals menu, or if it equals end. And we'll copy this, and we'll paste it down here, and there we go. So now in our menu screen, we can just basically, let's copy this, our help. Let's paste it down and say if our state equals end, we can just put in game over. And we can put in you lost with a score of, and then we can put in, let me just see exactly, I forget where we're putting in our score. I think that is in the heads up display. It is. So we will need to add our heads up display into the game here. So private HUD, and we're just going to put this here again, and this .hud equals HUD, which means in our game class here we need to add that heads up display, which means we need to take this heads up display and put it above the menu, because if we don't do that, we will get an error, because we need to create it before we can use it. And in our heads up display, I think, yep, we do have a getter for it. So down here we can just put a simple HUD.getScore. And then we can just put a try again button there. And then, pretty simply, if we just go into, where's our heads up display? Our health is here. So in our tick method, we can always just say, inside of our game, if HUD.health is less than or equal to 0, HUD.health equals 100, handler.clear enemies, and game state equals state dot end. So if we run the game now and we hit play, and let's see if we try and die here. There we go. So everything's all over the place here. Game over, you lost with a score of 462, and our player is still in the game here. Which we will have to delete. But yeah, so here we go. And then, we've got the game over screen. Very kind of glitchy right now. So let's go ahead and change our game state above here. And in our handler class, just say if game.gameState does not equal game.state.end. I'm pretty sure we used this before. To go ahead and use this, just change that modifier to static. Because we only have one of them, so it shouldn't really matter. So if we run it again, we hit play, and we go ahead and die here. There we go. Game over. You lost with a score of 203. You can hit try again, which doesn't actually work right now. and is kind of glitchy. So if we go ahead and debug it real quick by hitting debug, and we hit play here, and we there we go. Trying to die real quick. There we go. So now if we go to our menu, and now we can change this to say maybe 260, 250, 240, 245 should be good. Okay, and then we change this to say maybe 100, 200, 150, 170, 180, 175. There we go. And then game over screen at maybe 200. Or not, maybe 190, 180. There we go, we'll go with that. So now we have a cool little game over screen. Let's also, if we want to, add the particles to be created when we do that again. So inside here, just kind of copy this and paste that right there. So we do this, and there we go. So when we get to the game over screen, we now get the particles again, which is pretty cool. So there's always that particle effect in the menus. So game over, you lost with a score of 220. Now if you hit try again, let's go ahead and go to our menu here, and it's basically the same thing over and over that we've been doing before. So here we have the back button right here. So let's copy that. Let's paste it again. Bring that back, and instead of help, we're going to say end. We're going to set the game state to game, which means we need to just really copy all of this stuff here. And we need to set in our game, we need to set the score back to 0. So HUD dot set level to 1, and we need to set the score set score, terminate that, HUD dot set score to 0. And there we go. So let's see if that works without any bugs. So we'll hit help, or we'll hit play, hit try again, and we're back to level 1, level 2, level 3. Everything's working really the same. Level 4, we get that guy there. Level 5. We lost with the score of 0. We didn't lose with the score of 0. Oh, right. We need to take that and put this, because what it's doing there is it's taking, we're automatically setting everything back to 0. So what we need to do is in the menu, when we actually do click, restart the game, then we need to reset the scores back to what they were. So if we run it now, and we kind of try and die here. It's actually more difficult to die than stay alive. So you just lost with a score of 422. Try again. And now we're back again. There we go. Now you lost with a score of 611. And we hit try again, and boom, here we are. We are going right back at it. So now we have a little endless loop of a game that we have created, and we can keep trying again, and everything is kind of cool. So if you have any questions, I know I went a little bit fast, but go ahead and like, go and subscribe. Next tutorial, I'm thinking about going ahead and going over a couple saved, like where you can save some data, like you can save a top high score, and we will encrypt the file so nobody can really mess with it. We can go ahead and maybe go into a store system or something along those lines. But right now we have a game going, It's very simple, and it works, and it's a fun game. So leave a like, go and subscribe. Let's try for 200 likes this time. I hope we can do it, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So I will see you guys next time. Peace.